Hello and welcome to another episode of College Collective, brought to you by Jibber Jabber. My name is Ibrahim.
And my name is Hassan, and this is a show where we talk about university life, problems, and just give our general advice.
All right, so today we have another special guest, Melody, all the way from California. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So we just wanted to talk about university and like high school, because when it comes to setting up your career and what you want to do later on, the university you end up going to really plays a pretty big role in that, and it's a really good step towards achieving your career and getting into a good university. High school is a really big part of that. You know, you really have to stand out. You really have to try to be different in your own way. What are your thoughts on that, Hassan?
I mean, yeah, I completely agree. And if you have plans to get into a university, then you probably do better. And it's always good to have a goal in mind. I should have had something along those lines too in mind, but it's okay. I was wilding in my last year, to be honest. But unlike me, our friend who's joined all the way from California, she is part of many clubs and is also, correct me if I say it wrong, valedictorian. Did I did I butcher it?
No, that was correct. Valedictorian of my class. I don't know if that's gonna change anytime soon because I
I
am
hope not.
going into junior year. Yeah, I hope not to.
No, we believe, and I mean, she will tell you all about uh, how she performed so well and all the different clubs and things she's part of. Right?
Yeah. So currently I've taken and completed 3 AP courses, and then right now I'm taking 5 more AP classes.
Wow, that's a
Which
lot.
sounds, yeah,
Mhm.
it's a lot, but I think it's the only choice that I have at my school because the difference between regular classes and AP classes, it's a huge difference. And like we call it regs class and honors class, which the honors is for AP. But basically, like, because there's a huge leap, if I decide not to take an AP class, it like drop my whole entire um, knowledge, and it's just like very average, I guess. So there's like no in between classes that I can take,
Mhm.
and like AP is the only choice. It's challenging, definitely, but I think it's also a good challenge to just push myself, get out of my comfort zone, and honestly learn academically, while also being able to grow like my own time management skills, my
Right.
own productivity, and like learning more about ways that I can stay productive while also balancing everything that's happening in my life.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, props to you. I'll just accept I got flexed on. I because I'm people that don't know, I'm like from the UK syllabus, so I don't understand. But from your reactions, I'll assume, and Ibrahim told me that it's
Yeah,
quite difficult.
yeah. I
So
mean, I think in my whole all of high school, I took three AP courses, and
damn, and
that was
she's
hard.
taking
That was
five.
annoying enough. And she's taking five in her junior year alone, so
Mad.
it's pretty it's pretty crazy. So did you have
Yeah, okay,
just a
fine.
question?
I'm
Did you have
taking five.
AP courses last semester or like last year?
Yeah, I had 3 AP courses last year.
What happened with the tests though? Because I heard that the SATs got canceled. So what happened with the AP tests? Did you?
Yeah, so it was actually online, and it was very weird because we had to like upload everything by ourselves. Like we had to take pictures of the work that we've done,
Uh huh.
especially for like math, I think. I took AP Calc AB my sophomore year, so grade 10. And
Wow.
basically, I it was really weird because I took pictures of my paper and I had to submit it onto the College Board website, and that was my AP test. And then I also took AP European History, and that was just writing a DBQ, which stands for document based question. And
Mhm.
basically, they modified it. So, if I remember correctly, we had to analyze 5 documents, and in order to get a 5, we have to use like 4 of the documents and like other analysis and everything like that. So it's definitely an experience. It was super rushed because they want to make it shorter so that you don't have the time to look up answers and everything. You just have to
Right.
like quickly get it completed.
Right.
Yeah, so it was definitely an experience in and of itself, but I also think there's definitely some cons to it because some people, they just take advantage of it, I guess. That's how I can say it.
Okay.
It's definitely, sorry, what were you saying?
I mean, if you're comfortable, what do you mean by like take advantage of it?
Yeah, so it really is because like some people are better at one thing than another.
Oh,
So
right.
like,
Right. Okay.
yes, yeah, like with cheating and everything, I don't think I've seen anyone cheat with it. And like, even if so, they probably got some sort of email from College Board about it. But personally, I had zero time to cheat. I just had to quickly finish everything off the top of my head. And I got scores that I'm satisfied with.
That's good.
And
That's great.
yeah, and one thing that I wish they would have done was incorporate like more factors to it. So like, for example, for AP European history, the original test, it had a multiple choice section, a short answer section, a DBQ, and an LEQ, which is just a long essay.
Hmm.
And the total test time for an AP exam is around 3 to 4 hours,
Yep.
which is crazy. And I don't know how I'm going to survive this year.
Thank God.
But
I'm happy. I'm happy I stick with the British syllabus.
yeah, it's very long, and honestly, there's also more people who've taken more AP courses than me. I've known people who've taken 7 AP courses 1 year, and like in total, they've taken like 14 AP classes.
Mad. That's insane.
Ibrahim's
Yeah.
reaction is the right reaction here.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just
when you take AP courses, like you can use that credit in university, and you can like skip courses. So
wow,
taking like
that's probably
7 AP
amazing.
courses is pretty crazy. That's a really good
You
head
skip
start.
you skip the full year. You just like you pull up in your second year.
Honestly.
Yeah, and some schools do accept AP credits, but
Mhm.
also a huge con is that a lot of like the most elite schools in America don't accept it. So I know like Ivy Leagues, they're most likely to only accept like a couple of like the very advanced ones. So like AP Calculus BC
Yeah.
or I don't know, some other
Like AP
AP
physics or
classes.
something. And then they only accept it if it's like a
Yeah,
4 or 5. They have like pretty high
exactly.
standards.
Yeah, they probably only accept it if you have a 5, actually.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But if you apply to like the UC schools, so like UCLA, UC San Diego, those schools, they're
Mhm.
most likely to accept more AP credits.
That's
I
good.
see. No, I mean, this episode, I just feel it off the bat. This episode is more, I mean, to all the people that were watching and they thought we were goody two shoes and like, oh, the university students know everything and stuff. This episode here is proof that even a school student could like know more or be ahead on few characteristics that will help him or her in university. And I mean, I can already imagine Ibrahim's thinking how great she'll do in university, right?
How could you repeat that last part? I didn't hear you.
How great she will do in university, right?
Honestly, yeah, honestly.
Props
No,
to
I
you,
mean,
Thank
I mean, I
you.
honestly.
think I think AP courses really like get you ready for university. So it's about the same workload, and if you're sticking to
Right.
the American system anyways, then it should be fine. You just have a lot more.
Mm,
The only difference is you have a lot more free time, so you just have to manage your time a little better. But I don't think you'll have any issues with that.
how
Thank you,
actually,
guys.
welcome. Actually, on the topic, how does time management work? Because also before that, could you mention to the audience about most of the clubs and your roles so that they do understand that you're actually crazy with your time management? I respect.
Yeah, so at first, not gonna lie, I joined these clubs
Hmm.
honestly only for personal reasons. Like I did not expect joining clubs to be such a huge factor in like making your transcript look good for college. Like
Right.
I genuinely just wanted to join these clubs because I really like the idea of it. I really like volunteering, helping out others, doing service, and also like some of my other clubs are just to explore my own personal interests.
Mhm.
But as of this year, so the 2020 to 2021 school year, I am the club officer of 4 clubs. And so that's Interact Club, which is a service club, Do Something Club, which is also a service club. And I forgot to mention my role.
Mhm.
So I'm the vice president of activities in Interact, and then co president in Do Something Club, Chief Financial Officer for FBLA, which stands for Future Business Leaders of America. And
Mhm.
that's like a business club where you do like business competitions and everything like that. And then my 4th club is Vice President for a Chinese club.
Okay. That last one is just away from the rest. Just okay, so you have all these clubs for this this year. Um you mentioned that obviously because of the pandemic your school's online. So how does that look in terms of your clubs and stuff? Can you still do events or how's that looking?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually just got word like yesterday,
Uh-huh.
as of the day that we're recording this, from the school. And, we can't do in person events. Obviously, it's just too risky.
Mhm.
And even if we do, it has to go through like a huge line of approval and everything like that. But right now, in the clubs that I'm a part of, I'm pitching more of online events. And because I'm in, like, the majority are in a service club, there's a lot of online opportunities to help out the community, including just like spreading awareness about everything that's going on in the world regarding like Black Lives Matter, any racial injustices, coronavirus, obviously,
Mhm. Yeah.
and just spreading awareness about all these situations and what you can help, or not what you can help, sorry, how you can help out.
Mhm.
Yeah, straight up.
And yeah, and with like everything that's happening, I feel like this is a great opportunity to just like see the real world. As high schoolers, when we're actually in school, sometimes we forget about everything else that's happening in the world. And we're just so focused on like our own schoolwork, maintaining friendships, maintaining that social relationship with others, that we become tunnel visioned and we think school is our life. But now that we're in quarantine, we kind of have another vision and we see the world in a
Right.
broader perspective because we see everything that's happening in the world. It's not just about school now in quarantine. It's about school. It's about your family. It's about your friends. It's about everyone living on this world and
Yeah.
how you can help to survive, basically.
Okay. Side note, can we have you as a what's it called, public speaker afterwards? Maybe after high school. I'm not even being. I'm not even joking. You're really good at
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. Oh my, that is so
A
sweet. Thank
social
you
a
so
social
much.
influencer. That's
For
go for it.
Thank
influence,
you.
maybe not influencers. Oh God.
No,
Um,
but yeah, just relating to that, me, Hassan and I were part of the student government last year, and
right.
when we went in that pandemic, we had that same issue because our role was organizing events, and when we went online, all of our events had to be online because nothing was allowed to be on campus, and it was a little challenging because it's hard to get people engaged during quarantine. Because when it's in person, we just
And
end up going to like the top of a mountain or go to a water park or something cool like that, and everything was just restricted. So it was a
right.
challenge, but we learned quite a bit with that.
I mean, the positive thing is we could collaborate with all of the different university campuses of RIT, and we had one big event, and I believe that was like the highlight of events. To be honest, no one had done anything similar to that before. So there was that. So
Yeah, that's great.
exactly. So there's like it depends on different ideas and positive way to look at it. And yeah. Uh, but except, how do you feel about your upcoming year? Actually, this is something I was wondering. So
Yeah,
like,
so oh, sorry.
no problem, no problem. Go for it. Because I did leave the question. I was just wondering, like, do you think you'll be going back to campus anytime soon? Probably not. Do you miss it? Just those along those lines.
Yeah, so I think I genuinely do think there's a high chance of going back to school, like in
Mm-hmm.
some sort of hybrid way. So, like half at home, half at school situation. It's going to be very hectic that way because, high schoolers, not everyone is very mature enough to actually social distance themselves and staying away from each other. There's always going
Right.
to be people who are like, oh my God, my friends. And then they go up to hug them or like do some sort of handshake, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, but, the schools are trying, and I understand. It's definitely hard with everything going on. I mean, online school is so difficult because there's always teachers who don't understand how to use technology. There's always, yeah,
That's true.
there's always students who also don't know how to use technology. And like for example, one
Yeah.
time in my class, we have 80-minute periods in the morning.
Right.
So for one of my 80-minute classes, the teacher was spending the whole entire class period figuring out how to get Zoom to work for him, and
Oh,
then also helping out another student who was struggling with technology.
Oh
And
no.
that was the whole entire class.
man,
Yeah.
yo, we love a free class. I mean,
Yeah.
damn, 80 minutes though is wild. Like maybe half an hour, I get it. Okay, hour at best. Damn.
80
Yeah.
minutes just
But did
gone.
he figure it out at the end though? Did he figure it out at the end?
He did figure it out at the end, and
Yeah.
thankfully it hasn't happened again. But like each of my classes, there's at least one teacher who's
Right.
teaching someone else, like a student, how to use technology. There's always that situation that happens.
Right.
But I've only had school for a month. So, maybe in the future it's going to change a little bit. People are going to start getting the hang of it. But as of now, it's looking all right. Like I really can't say anything great about it or anything terrible about it. It's just there.
It is what it is. True.
Yeah.
It is.
Uh,
And with your earlier question, do I miss going back to school?
right.
There's some factors that, I definitely do miss just being in that classroom environment. I feel like that's one thing that I really, really liked about school in general. Just sitting there and listening to the teacher talk is so much better than staring at a screen and listening to a teacher talk. Because one of my biggest struggles was always just focusing with like online things. Whenever, like when we were back in school,
Mhm.
like my sophomore year, and my teachers played like a crash course or like just any YouTube video teaching the subject, I always struggled so much paying attention. Like I would have one hand holding my head and like I'm literally holding myself
Fall
up
asleep.
trying to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
would just fall asleep whenever we had a movie on or a
We
documentary.
100% relate to what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's such a struggle to just pay attention to that video, especially if like the person is talking so fast. I'm pretty sure you guys watch like a crash course video, right?
They
Yeah.
they they speak
Yeah.
way too quick.
Yeah.
I don't understand. You really can't keep up with them. And
For real.
teachers really love their crash courses. I don't know why. Just love the whole animation there.
Okay, well,
But
now we have the podcast episode title, This at Crash Course.
Yeah, we're just gonna speak very fast from now on while giving tips.
I'll try. I'll try.
there's no way there's no way I could keep up with that.
Only
But
John Green can handle that.
True. True.
man, I don't know
Um,
if you've seen it, but there's a crash course about physics, and there's this girl that talks in it, and she talks way faster. Like You can't
Very
keep up at
fast.
all. She's faster than John Green.
God
Like,
help.
it's impossible. And our physics teacher loved to play videos in class, and it's just annoying. But yeah, online it really sucks. We have a 3 hour course twice a week,
What?
and
Yeah.
like 2 hours and 50 minutes, and they expect us to like sit down and listen to him, and he has the biggest monotone when he talks, and you just have to like I don't know how people pay attention in that class.
I mean, luckily he's a sweet professor.
That's
Thank
true.
God.
Thank God for that. But
So I'll be skipping classes. But yeah, at least it's a sweet professor, and he knows what he's talking about. He's not like just reading off a book, so it helps. It helps. And sometimes he goes from monotone to screaming, but that's because he's really passionate. And I'm sure Ibrahim stops sleeping when he
that
goes
when he
to-
screams, that's when you wake up in the course.
Yeah, that's when Ibrahim wakes up.
Yeah.
That is so funny because the monotone teachers, they're
Right.
honestly, I feel like they're always the best teachers. Like they
Really?
always, yeah, like with my teachers, if the more monotone you are, the more I actually learn from you. But it's like I think it's just funny to experience it because sometimes you kind of just you're sitting there and you can tell they're trying to be enthusiastic, but like
Honestly,
it kind of just doesn't work.
they
Yeah.
try to crack
Yeah.
jokes every now and then sometimes, and
Yeah,
A,
exactly.
A for effort though. I respect the hustle there.
Hey, they're the most effective for you. Damn, that might be the first. You got me thinking. Actually, you might be right. Yo, Ibrahim, we do get our best grades in those courses. She might be onto something actually. Yeah, she might be onto something actually. Yo,
I don't know. I don't like teachers with
Good for you.
monotones. I prefer
Ibrahim's just
the
biased. He
super
can't convince me.
enthusiastic ones, but for each their own.
Yep. We also wanted to touch on your goals, and
Yeah,
we were just
just
wondering has like, especially with these clubs. So how has Corona affected that? Do you guys still go on with the clubs? Do you plan events online like we try to do, or is it more of it's kind of on hold right now, and it's more just academic focused? How is that like working out?
Yeah, so with clubs, we're still in the process of deciding what we're going to do. For one club, the service club, we have a pretty general idea of what we're going to do for this specific month, which is just, getting to know each other in the club, doing some icebreakers, and that's pretty much about it. Like, that's all we have planned for this month, which really isn't a lot and honestly
Right.
doesn't have anything related to do with service. But like this is all we can do for now until
Things
someone
get better.
else until someone else comes up with another way or things get better, like what you said.
I understand.
That's fair.
Completely understandable. And there is like a level of connection that's like is what we've been trying to emphasize, I think, by now. That's missing when you're not meeting someone in person or when you're forced to be across a computer screen. Somebody asked me to ask who was it?
No problem.
So, what is it like being a high performer in 2020? How do you even go about maintaining that? Is it like similar to the way it was before, or do you have a whole different ideology? And is it different to getting good grades now and doing well overall?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question because I constantly ask myself this too.
Mhm.
It's just it really depends on the day. Some days you get a lot of free time from online classes, so you feel great about online classes. You're like, yo, this is
100%.
so chill,
For
love
me.
this. And then like some days, when you're having a test day, those are the worst because you haven't learned anything from online class. It's so hard to focus that you can't concentrate on anything and you don't really process that information. So after you get like the bad grade or the grade that you weren't hoping to get, you have that realization and you're like, okay, so online
Online
school maybe
sucks.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
Melody out here
have
spitting
any
facts.
Did you have any
Straight
quizzes
facts.
online so far?
Yeah, I've had a lot actually, especially for calculus, and I've been doing really bad in it. Math is like one of my strongest subjects, but like with online school, it's been going downhill. Like
It's
especially in the first 2 weeks, I
Mhm.
was struggling so much. I failed two of my exams
oh
straight
no.
away. I got a 2 out of 10 for one of my quiz, and then for a test, I got I think a 60%.
Yeah,
Damn.
so it is having a toll on you.
Yeah, it is. And, usually in math, I'm getting my A's, my B's, a fair share of those, and just like a
Right.
balance of those.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so now this year I'm struggling a lot. But, once I realize that I'm struggling, I just have to put in a lot more effort into it. So for like the third and fourth week, especially with last week, I've been slowly getting the hang of it back and just going back into that study routine that I had before quarantine.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and
you can't really learn math online. It just doesn't work. We had a
Yeah,
math course
and
last semester, and I think I was at an A, and then the second we went online, it just dropped to like a C, like
yeah,
straight away.
dang,
I just failed like my midterms and my final was terrible.
I mean,
yeah,
and Ibrahim has mentioned exactly what you're talking about, and we completely agree with you. It's difficult to have the same motivation to study when you're at the same place as you eat and sleep and spend most of your day compared to like school, which gives you an environment where you're focused
Uh-huh.
on studying, you know?
Yeah.
And you
yeah,
are right.
definitely.
The dedication required is way more when it's online.
For sure. And it's also so tiring because, like what you said, you have to put in so much more effort online. So,
Yeah,
like, you're paying attention for hours and hours in the morning and in the afternoon.
you just
And
start.
then, like, yeah,
Right.
you're just tired. And after your days are over, you kind of just lay there and, you walk like 4 feet to your bed.
You're like that's it. I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually 100%. I just don't think we're built for staring at screens all of our days.
We're not.
Like
We're seriously not.
me seeing a professor and talking to them, or like even just sleeping in the class is genuinely better than staring at a screen all day long, and that just tires you out. And I completely agree with you, honestly.
Yeah, and my eyes have started to get really bad
Oh,
because of online school. So I actually got like these blue light glasses a couple
I
of
always
weeks
wanted to
ago.
get one of these.
Yeah, it's actually been really helpful, like
Uh-huh.
especially the first day I used it. I just put it on when I was doing I think like around 3 to 4 hours of nonstop work because it was just like my
Wow.
cram day.
Right.
Um, and so when I was wearing it, there's not a major difference in colors and everything around you. It's like literally just the screen turns like a little bit more yellow.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah. And so when I went to sleep that day, I quickly fell asleep and I didn't think too much of it. But when
Hmm.
I woke up, like my eyes were completely clear. It wasn't straining. It didn't feel dry like it did before. Like literally a day beforehand, like the day before the blue light glasses arrived,
Right.
whenever I woke up, my eyes would always hurt and everything would be blurry. Oh, and just like a side note for context, I don't wear like normal prescription glasses. I think I have 20/20 vision. I don't know anymore. But,
Damn.
I don't normally wear glasses. Like I can
Right.
see things.
Right.
That,
Right.
that's good. That's
Perfectly
awesome.
fine. You've sold me, honestly. I'll stop slacking. I'll go buy one tomorrow. And I, you can plug Mendy if you want. You know, I believe you can plug if you got a company in mind.
Yeah. I actually don't. I mean, there's like a lot of different blue light
Right.
glasses brands.
Yeah.
I
I was
kind of
just.
just got
Doing that right after this call. Then I'll hit you up and I'll tell you how that worked out for me.
yeah,
Uh,
go for it.
percent. We were also wanting to talk to you about, well, university. I mean, you are in your 11th grade, you're about to go to your 12th, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you're almost there. And then, I mean, by next year, you'll also be focusing about universities, and at the same time, you'll be studying. So I know it's a little bit early, but like, do you have few in mind? Have you thought of like, oh, I want to make it to there? Or maybe like, just along those lines, have you thought anything about it?
Yeah, I was one of those kids who was very enthusiastic about college. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why. I just love the idea of college, the idea of being able to learn academically while also growing as an individual.
Right.
Just that whole balance is something that I really like. And I've been looking at colleges since I was in middle school. I just
Oh wow.
Wow.
love the whole idea about it. Yeah, I'm like a huge nerd, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I wish, hey, my dad wishes I was like that, so it's okay.
every parent's dream.
Go on, tell us, tell us.
I'll take it as a compliment.
It
Yeah,
is, it
it's
is, it
yeah, like I'm a huge nerd in that way, but like never mind. I won't get into the details of everything else.
is.
But with colleges specifically, right now I am looking at USC. It's
Right.
University of Southern California. It's in Southern California, which is where I live. It's super
Right.
close to my home, and it has a great business program and communications program and cinematics program. Like just everything about it is very well balanced. So, if I all of a sudden want to change my major or anything similar like that, I have a great variety of things I can expand on and just really explore my interest and what I want to do in the future. A
Yeah.
great part of USC is also the fact that it's in downtown LA,
Mm-hmm.
and LA is like one of the biggest cities with, Hollywood. You have
Right. Right.
um, a lot of like business companies, I guess. Just
Influences. Right. Yeah. A lot of events, a lot of things going on in LA. Right.
yeah, and it's also like a great place to just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You got Disneyland, you got well, obviously Hollywood too. Yeah,
Right.
Universal Studios, Six Flags, Knott's, Soak City, everything like that. There's just so many
Wow.
options, and like I know I can have so much fun in downtown
Right.
LA. And yeah, I just think it's like so perfect for me because the students there are also very spirited. The football games are insane, which is also something I love. I love watching sports and athletics, everything like that.
Sounds amazing,
Yeah,
honestly. Sounds
yeah.
actually like you painted a really nice picture, to be honest. I should move to LA.
Is that like your dream school then? Like your USC?
Yeah, that is like my dream school. If I get in with a scholarship, and only with the scholarship because I can't afford it without it.
Oh no,
It's
Nice.
so
that's fair.
expensive.
Yeah, I can
But
I
imagine.
mean,
yeah.
downtown LA, I could imagine probably.
I mean, I'm sure you already know this, but like as soon as senior year hits, just go for those early admissions and go
Yeah,
for it.
I'll keep that in mind.
But yeah,
Definitely.
that sounds actually really amazing. Did 2020 change? So did you always want to go into like the business major? Did 2020 sway you a little bit, like all the things that happened, or is it still like firmly in place and you're sure about it?
Yeah, so prior to 2020, when I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor
Mm-hmm.
because I liked helping people and I thought this was like a great way to literally help people.
Mhm.
Me and you both. Me and you both.
Yeah, and one of the biggest reasons why I decided not to go in the medical field was because there's just so much school to do, and honestly, I
For
can't
real.
handle that.
For
Yeah.
real.
A whole
Another eight,
decade.
9 years,
A
like,
whole decade of
please.
just studying.
No.
Yeah, like I love school, but like I can't do it for that long. I need breaks.
Absolutely. For real. True. Straight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and after that, I wanted to become like a nutritionist or something along that field because I got really into like watching those like fitness shows and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I like working out and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And
It's a
then
good
I was
hobby to
like,
have.
yeah, and then like afterwards, I don't know why I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna do well in this. So, um, I'm someone who's a huge like YouTube geek. I watch like so much YouTube and TV shows and movies,
Mhm.
and so I've also thought about like cinematics and stuff. But also at the same time, I was like, I don't think that's gonna be great for me either because I'm not that creative and I'm not artistic at all.
Well, I mean, you did start working into the podcasting, and from what I heard, it's going good. So,
Yeah, and so this is actually one of like the biggest surprise that's
mhm.
like happened in this entire year. Well, like a good surprise, I mean.
Well, happy for you too.
um,
Honestly, you
yeah.
sound really good. I'm quite confident. You're probably made for this, to be honest. Uh,
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, I
Welcome.
really appreciate that.
As for the whole YouTube thing, I mean, most of our generation, I think, I speak for most of us when I say we all pride ourselves on that. I don't think we grew up as much on TV as we did on YouTube. Well, I did too, so I relate with you on that. And the other thing, last thing wanted to mention is all the doctors probably hate us after this episode. So there goes our viewership.
Nah, bro.
And
Shout out to all the doctors that hustled a decade of studying, and then even when they start working, they gotta study
yeah,
more because things keep changing. It's
no, but doctors get
Yeah.
all the
I
respect
think
for
my aunt is a doctor as well, and she works in the ER, and that
yeah,
job is so stressful, but it's also so rewarding. But it's not for
exactly.
everyone. It's honestly not
For
for everyone.
real. Yeah, so much respect to all the doctors out there, especially now during COVID-19. You
Definitely.
know, you guys deserve so much more credit for being an essential worker, for helping out so many people.
Exactly, exactly. And with the
Straight
whole
up.
pandemic, the whole world like just realized how important every single one of you
Hmm.
Yeah.
are. Okay, so off of the really sentimental topic, how do you, I mean, being a valedictorian, how do you feel about your GPA and college degree? Do you feel like it isn't the main prerequisite for some companies out there? Because I've heard that a lot of companies don't really value the GPA as much. Do you have the same feeling? Have you heard something similar, or do you think now someone with a bad GPA score said this and they're just trying to make themselves feel better?
Yeah, well, for colleges, I think it really, I mean, yeah, GPA is a huge factor in your applications, but like even if you don't have like the GPA that you find on their website, like the GPA range that they have, it doesn't mean you shouldn't feel discouraged to not apply there. Like even though you have like a lower GPA than what they're looking for, you should still go for it because it's
It's
like
worth
a
a
lot of
shot.
college, yeah, it's worth a shot. And honestly, a lot of colleges now they're doing like a holistic review,
Hmm.
so
Right.
they're looking not just at your academics but like you as an individual. Like they see what you do at home, you know, every anything that you write on your essays, your those like short answer responses and everything like that, with clubs, any extracurriculars basically. And you
Yeah,
know,
I think
No,
you're
I
even,
feel.
100% right.
yeah, definitely. Like I don't think GPA is, you know, the whole factor of if you're going to get into a college. And also like each school has their own version of reviewing GPAs and grading. Like for my school,
Right.
um if I took like the normal honors class, so not AP, but like honors, which was like
Mhm.
in freshman and sophomore year, they offered honors classes. You know, that was graded as a 4.0 if you got an A. But for my other friend who goes to another district, also in California,
Right.
whenever she took those classes, she would get a 5 if she got an A. And, you know, that in of, a, in and of itself is already a huge difference.
Yeah,
Right.
because I
Yeah.
think yeah, some schools give weighted GPAs because of AP courses, and that's the difference out of 4 or out of 5. Our school also had it out of 5 because of our AP courses. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of students ended up having like 4.2s or 4.3s or something, and that just destroys the whole curve for everyone.
Yeah, and I know I've heard like some colleges say that they're like recalculating the GPA with like their own system so everyone has like a
Hmm.
fair game in their GPA. But like with your question, I genuinely think like even if you don't have the best grades, you should definitely still apply because what's there to lose, right?
Right.
Like the only thing you're losing for sure if you don't get in is the application fee.
Yeah,
True, honestly true.
which is not too much either, so it's fine. And also, from what I've learned, a lot of universities, okay, the GPA is important, but then they look more towards extracurriculars and like service and like community service and stuff, athletics, clubs, all that stuff is a lot more important nowadays. And also with your essay and like additional information, all that stuff, that's more what they lean towards because a lot of kids have like 3.9s or 4.0s. So I think that sets students apart better.
Yeah, for sure. And it's honestly like I have one tip
Hmm.
for, applying and having those extracurriculars. And it really is to just find what you're passionate about and explore what you're passionate about because it's the fact that you're doing something just for college is not like a good thing. Like it really isn't. You're forcing yourself to do something you don't enjoy and overall you're gonna feel bad about it,
Yep.
and on your essays it's gonna easily seem like it's ingenuine and that you just did it for college. Like colleges don't just want someone who's doing so many things for the school, right? They
Right.
want a student who will develop even further as a college student and further in their career to represent their school. So
100% right.
yeah, and so the fact that you're doing something just like as a high schooler and you're going to quit it immediately in the future, like that's not helping you as an individual. Like you can't grow from that. And you don't experience those interests.
Right.
But if you find and explore things that like are interesting to you, and you might have a whole entirely new perspective, you can have so many more things to talk about in your essays, and like even if you get denied to like the schools that you
Mhm.
want to go to, it's still so rewarding to yourself because of how much you've learned. And I think that's
100%.
like one of the biggest reasons why school is so great, especially like if you have like an opportunity to join these clubs and everything like that, you can really really like get to know yourself better and just overall enjoy this moment while it lasts.
I
Straight
mean,
up.
what is there to add? I feel like you have wrapped most of it up and covered almost everything, to be honest. Uh,
Yeah,
Oh,
uh,
thanks.
honestly, thank you. Like, thank you again for being on this call. I really, you have like a year and a half, 2 years left, so I really hope that goes well. And inshallah, I really hope you get into USC like you want to. You're definitely look like you're on the right track for that. And
more
yeah,
than
just
right.
all the best
Yeah.
with everything.
I
Thank you
mean,
guys so much.
you're welcome. And this episode just goes to show to like our own audience that look, just because you're university students doesn't make us like way smarter or anything other than just students. We're also still learning, and it's your mentality and it's how dedicated you are. And like our friend here, Melody, she's very dedicated and she's outgoing and stuff, and so she has a lot of things to show for it, and that's good. And that's what most students should strive for if they have goals. Um, I think we've covered most of the topics we want to do and got to see what it's like from the perspective of someone that's on the other side of the globe. And we do want to thank you a lot for joining us on this call, Melody.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys so much for having me and saying such sweet things. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys succeed in university, and best of luck to you guys too.
Thank you.
Sweet of you. Thank you. I think that will be all for this episode. I think we covered on all the bases. And yeah, I mean, College Collective guys, me, Hassan, signing out.
All right, take care, guys.
See
See
you.
you guys next week. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. You know the drill.